Before we get into deep with mindset, I want to know, what is your definition of mindset?
Yeah, for me, mindset is really about an awareness of what's going on in your mind and an awareness of your thought patterns and the knowledge that your thought patterns, whatever you are thinking, are truly coming from beliefs that were integrated into your system, your soul, your mind by the age of 7, 8 years old. So, what we have to understand is that our minds can run amok, and the vast majority of the thoughts that we have are traditionally negative. Now, that is actually a biological mechanism that is utilized to support you and support your survival. But in today's society, being that we are not running away from lions and we typically are not in the state of survival or needing to think about survival, those negative thoughts have now just kind of run our regular day. And much of those negative thoughts do come from beliefs that you learn from the individuals around you as you grow up, your parents, teachers, people that you presume to be individuals that can support and impact you in a positive light. And they often very much do. But whatever their traumas or systemic beliefs were, they basically just translate that down to you. So your mindset is the knowledge that there are thoughts that run your behaviors, and those thoughts stem from beliefs that you acquired in childhood. And just becoming aware of what those thoughts are is a mindful practice, and really being able to connect to that so you can shift or change behaviors based off of shifting or changing beliefs.
Wow, I think that was a writer downer, Jasmine. Um, so I've seen imposter syndrome hold many executives and professionals back in their career. For those who don't know, what is imposter syndrome?
Yeah, so imposter syndrome to me really is that feeling of self-doubt. Imposter syndrome is that moment where self-doubt is running the show, where negative thoughts are running the show, and where you feel like, well, I should be able to just kind of step into this space, knowing my experiences, my accomplishments, my capabilities, and run the show. But I am incapable of doing so because I have negative thoughts or self-doubt that is higher than my knowledge of self. So it's really this feeling of like almost kind of being incapable of showcasing the best representation of you because those negative thoughts and self-doubt just happen to be running the show in the moment.
Wow. I think you articulated that very well. And I haven't heard anybody really talk about it that way. So I love it. Um, how have you seen imposter syndrome hold people back in their careers?
Yeah, this happens a lot. I work a lot with job seekers. And for me, when it comes to the women that I work with in the empowered hire, the number one way that this holds them back is right at the start of the job search. They will not even allow themselves to apply for positions that they deem to be out of scope for themselves. Even if they have the experiences, even if they have the drive, even if they know for sure that they can learn it on the job, it's almost kind of like a disqualification or a discrediting of self immediately off the bat. The way it can also show up for job seekers going through the process is feeling like you don't have anything to give in a networking conversation, so you just don't have networking conversations, or feeling like you can't really talk to someone above you because they're God, they're holier than thou, even though, they're just a regular person, but you're putting these individuals on a pedestal. Or it can come up in the interview process when you feel like you can't connect to your value or you can't brag, quote unquote, brag about yourself or sell yourself. For professionals in general, it can come with a capping of self. So you're not going for the promotions, you're not asking for the pay raises, you're not showing up in the spaces and environments owning your voice. It's almost kind of like you're paralyzed to speak or to showcase your expertise. So it really shows up in a lot of varieties of different ways. But I think that imposter syndrome is really intriguing because I come at everything from perspective. So I think that how you view something can either disempower you or empower you. So there is a way that you can see imposter syndrome that could be seen from a positive lens. And the way that you can do that is to say to yourself, imposter syndrome is traditionally triggered when you are stepping outside of your comfort zone. And what does everybody in both the spiritual and development world tell you you should be doing in order to grow, in order to develop, in order to claim the life that you want? Step outside of your comfort zone. So imposter syndrome actually can be seen as, wow, I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone. And yes, that is going to trigger certain thoughts, certain ideas, and certain concepts. But if I just, in essence, base know that when I step outside of my comfort zone, things might get a little bit sticky, but I do have the capacity to learn. I do have the capacity to seek help, and I do have the capacity to be my best self, then right there, you're already stopping the process of imposter syndrome running you. And you're essentially saying, this is just a part of growth. So imposter syndrome can be seen as just a growth factor, a part of natural growth in any area of your life.
Wow. So I want to piggyback on that.